Freddie Williams.
Oh, no.
Me. How we got this incident report placing you there.
It was me that put Freddie down, Kane.
You never speak on that shit again, Fame. Not to me, not to nobody. Okay, how you're stupid is fucking up my business right now.
It's not even like
It's
that.
exactly like that. I'm scary too, motherfucker.
Having flashbacks when I put them bullets in his chest. I'm living with a murder. Fuck, I really might confess.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, and in this video we're talking about Famous, death or jail. Big debate going on within the show. Everyone's kind of focused on the whole Ronnie and Unique situation, but prior to the episode 5 I made a video talking about Famous will be getting arrested for the murder of Freddie, and he got picked up by the cops. They questioned him about it and he even finally admitted it to Kanan. So we know Famous is now on a chopping block, and I also made a video breaking down the lyrics of his new song he's gonna drop called 411, admitting, talking about the regrets, the whole story of him taking out Freddie and how all of that is gonna play out. Now there's two big theories popping up right now. Famous is gonna die or he's gonna go to jail, and how those storylines are gonna continue to play out with characters like Kanan, Ronnie, Rock, so on and so forth. So for this video we're gonna split it up into two parts. One side being the death, what's all the storylines that could take place if he was to die, who was to do it, how I see it going, everything that could play out, and then of course the jail side of things, because that's been a big popular theory that's been going on since the beginning of the season, ever since he killed Freddie. So we're gonna dive into all that. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We hit 10K this year, we're going for 100. Let's make that happen. Now, to first jump into the jail side of things, if Famous was to get arrested, how would this all go? Now, of course, we know his real name is Sean, but his rap name is Famous. If you guys remember, when he killed Freddie, the neighbor peeked and opened his door. We saw that scene take place. The neighbor heard everything that went down. And what's interesting about that is Freddie said the name Famous.
Oh, you ain't gonna do shit, Famous. I know it's you, motherfucker.
Now, the neighbor didn't see what happened, but remember, he already saw Famous's face. Remember in season 2 episode 6 where Freddie and his crew pulled up on Kanan and Famous, took Famous' chain, took Kanan's bag with the drugs and Rock's money, and they had to go get it back. On the mission to get it back, when Kanan was beating the fuck out Freddie, that neighbor came out his room and saw both of their faces. Now, some of you guys are probably asking, why is that important? Because in episode 10 of season 2, we see that neighbor get interviewed by the police officer that questioned Famous in season 3. And of course, the neighbor said he didn't hear anything, he don't remember anything, nothing went down. But that police officer did give him that card. All he has is the name Famous right now, but the faces he saw that beat up Freddie, he doesn't necessarily know it was them. Now, I just mentioned in my intro that he's gonna drop the new song 411. In 411, like I said, he's gonna talk and dive into the regret, everything that happened within the killing of Freddie. I believe that once Famous drops the song 411, it starts ringing in the streets again, like the Streets Need a Body song, and that man realizes his name is Famous as well. I think this is when he'll play his part, come into the fold, and come to the cops. When he got interviewed, the cop did leave him his card. He threw it to the side, but that doesn't mean it's gone. It's still always on the table. We already know in the next coming episodes, Kanan is officially gonna cut off Famous, and we're gonna get into that more when we get into the debt side of things. But I think this opens up the opportunity for Famous to lean back towards the music. We saw in the most recent episode 5 at the open mic night, everybody was fucking with him, his new raps, his new freestyle, and even Lou, who previously in the past stopped fucking with Famous because he was lazy, just smoking, and his songs just weren't good at the time. But now he's gonna be rapping from his own experience. At first he was rapping about what Kanan and D-Wiz did with the killing of Buck-20, with taking him out, but now he's gonna be rapping from his own experience, and with Kanan letting him go, he's gonna have more time to focus on his music and get back cool with Lou. But when this song drops, all hell is gonna break loose, and this kind of ties into the debt side of things as well, because we saw in episode 5 when he told Kanan the truth that he was the one who took down Freddie. Kanan told him, don't say that shit to no one else, bury that with him.
You never speak on that shit again, Fame. Not to me, not to nobody. You bury this shit with you, nigga.
and now he's gonna put out this song. One of the most popular theories that people have been bringing up constantly is that in the original Power, there's a scene of Kanan in jail. A lot of people point out that one of the scenes they believe that might be or could be Famous in the scene in the cell with Kanan. So a lot of people think he's gonna get arrested, and that's just where he's gonna be for the rest of Raising Kanan, which I can possibly see, but I don't know if the writers have thought that far ahead. Now, there's reasons to believe and to not believe that that isn't him. One, Kanan is literally about to kill him in that scene over a chess game, which is crazy if they're boys. But the reason most people believe this is possibly him and that he didn't betray Kanan or anything like that is that, of course, Kanan went on to name his own son Sean. And if he was a snitch or did any fucked up shit, grimy shit to Kanan's back, Kanan more than likely wouldn't named him that. Now, we're gonna dive into that more when we get into the death side of things, but it makes sense if he named his own son Sean that he still felt some type of love or attachment to Famous, that he felt like he could name his own son after him. And that leads us into the death side of things. Now, to get into the death prediction side of things, the only main culprit everyone's really pointing at right now is Kanan, and for good reason. We know in episode 6, Kanan is gonna find out from Famous that it was Rock who put the gun in his bag, and he's gonna tell Famous he's out the business, this is my shit, you gotta go. And Famous is gonna be trying to make excuses like Rock is scary, and Kanan's gonna tell him, I'm scary too, motherfucker.
I'm scary too, motherfucker.
And from this scene, we kind of get the end of their relationship. We already saw him go off on him in episode 5, just revealing to him he killed Freddy, telling him to keep that shit to himself and don't fuck up his business. So after finding out now about the gun situation that Famous could have been let him know, he's not gonna be fucking with him anymore. And once again, I mentioned in the jail theory that he told Famous to bury this information with him.
You never speak on that shit again, Fame. You bury this shit with you, nigga.
And of course, we know he's still gonna go ahead and put out this song. Now, the problem with all this is they have pictures already taken of Rock going and meet Famous in his apartment and everything like that. And also the cops have picked up Famous with the money, with the drugs, with everything like that. So they could possibly try to connect him and take down Rock in the process, which I think they'll try to gun for Rock more than anyone else. Of course, with Kanan's being Rock's son, him doing his own thing, his own business, about to form an alliance with Ronnie, Famous is gonna look more and more like a liability within his business. Now, of course, the problem with all this is the whole reason Famous is even in the game is because of Kanan. Kanan knew from the very beginning Famous wasn't built or made for his life. He and Jukebox even said it himself.
Famous ain't built for this shit anyway. This is the shit D-Wiz was always down for.
No doubt.
And Famous even went out the way to admit it himself this season.
I ain't trying to be on that track again. You know better than anybody. This hustling shit just ain't me.
But yet Kanan still forced him into the game, told him he's gonna work with Sinrad, the couriers, and they're not gonna talk about it anymore.
We fucking with Simrad on this, and we not talking about it again.
So he put Famous in his position, and now he's kicking him out. I think as Kanan starts to assimilate into Ronnie's crew, he's gonna feel pressure from Ronnie to take out this liability, to leave nothing to chance. We saw Ronnie go and take out his own brother, so he's gonna feel like to Kanan taking out Famous shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. As Famous songs start to gain more and more traction, I think the backlash will come to Kanan's way, and he will have to make a choice, have to make a decision. Now, of course, I mentioned this in the jail theory, I have to mention it in the death theory. Kanan naming his own son Sean. Now, this could work out both ways. Once again, I mentioned in the jail theory, he felt like Famous held it down, then he named his son after him because he was loyal, he was his man, his brother from the very beginning, so he felt like it was just the right thing to do to name his son Sean. But this could come from two ways. This could come from a big impactful moment where Kanan has to take out and eliminate Famous, or Famous sacrifices himself for Kanan, or tries to save Kanan, tries to help Kanan and gets caught in harm's way. We currently see, like I said, their relationship is rocky, it's gonna be off, but they did have each other's back in a lot of moments. Most people believe Kanan is gonna take out Famous just like he took out his own son, and name his own son Sean was more out of guilt for the bullet he put into his own best friend. Overall, that's it for this video. You could tell me which way you're leaning. If you think Famous is gonna go to jail, go to wait for life, get locked up after releasing the song 411, or will he just become so much of a nuisance and a liability that Kanan might get pushed by Ronnie, Rock, or even know within himself that Famous just has to be taken out if he's gonna continue to do what he's doing. He already said, like, I can't have you getting in the way of my business, saying he's gonna prioritize his business over his friendship. So it's not looking too good for our boy Famous. At the very least, we're gonna see our boy get back into the studio, dropping another song from his own personal experience this time, but we gotta still see how that plays out. As usual, you guys, though, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We hit 10K. I already told you guys we're hitting 100K by the end of the year. I will appreciate you guys help out with that by hitting that sub button, but I'm out.